Exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the Trump White House. It comes from a new book, Trump's Enemies, How the Deep State is Undermining the Presidency, by Trump's close political aides. Corey Lewandowski, David Bossie, they join us now. Welcome back.
Thanks
to
for having
GMA.
us, George.
Let me begin with you. Enemies inside the White House. That sounds pretty dire. And when you go through the book, it includes people like the Chief of Staff, John Kelly.
Well, we don't say that General Kelly is an enemy. We talk about the overall effort being put forth by someone in the White House staff, and we'd like to see people who are supporters of the president. And look, presidents have, and you know this, George, presidents have to have all sorts of people around them, and we understand that. But we are two of the president's best advocates on the outside, and we want him to succeed. We want America to succeed, and that's what this book is trying to do.
That often creates creative tension, but the New York Times also wrote that at one point it got physical between you and General Kelly. Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's not. Look, I don't want to talk about what may or may not have happened with John Kelly, and what I can tell you is John and I have had very candid conversations about the way that we think that this president should be out talking with the people. I believe, and we wrote this in our first book, Let Trump Be Trump, the president is best when he's out talking directly to the American people, when he's on the road seeing the American people. And there was a mindset inside the White House when the new chief of staff came in to kind of limit the access to people and to keep him at bay from everybody else. And I thought that was a fundamental mistake. And so I let John and others know about that.
The president seems to be unhappy with just about everybody around him right now. Maybe you guys are excluded since you're not inside the White House. In recent days, he's talked about Kelly. He's talked about Secretary Nielsen. He's talked about Steve Mnuchin. At least there was a report in the Wall Street Journal that he was unhappy with Steve Mnuchin. Talks about General Mattis being a Democrat. If he's surrounded by so many people he's unhappy with, why not clean house?
Well, I think you're going to see changes after with the midterms happening and now behind us. You're going to see some natural changes in the White House staff, in the cabinet, I would assume. But if you look at the morale in a White House goes up and down, right? We've all seen that through many presidents, and I would posit that the morale, during Reince Priebus's tenure was as good or better than right now. So there's
no kidding.
Yeah, you're going to. Well,
and you weren't happy with that tenure.
No. Look, Reince was not set up for success. Let's be honest. In the first 7 months, but he did a very admirable job and got a lot of policy successes.
Let's talk about Robert Mueller, who's hanging over this entire White House right now. I was talking to Alan Dershowitz yesterday, who's been an ally of the president. He says that this report from Robert Mueller is going to be politically devastating to the president. Do you agree, and what should the president do about it?
George, we sat down with the president for this book and we asked him about the Mueller investigation. And we talk about what his answer is. And he says a couple things. Number one, I was there during a significant portion of the campaign. There was no collusion or cooperation between us and anybody from some foreign entity to impact the outcome of the election. But what I think the American people want... Will you be
surprised if Robert Mueller shows that?
Well, look, I think what the American people deserve to see is the full Mueller report when it comes out. And I know it's up to the Department of Justice to release that information, but for now, 2 years and tens of millions of dollars which have gone in, we want the right to see what Mueller is going to say either did or didn't transpire, because we know that anybody who's been caught in this Mueller investigation, whether that's been Paul Manafort or George Papadopoulos, things that they did had nothing to do with the campaign. Paul Manafort's time was all prior to his campaign, and George Papadopoulos, who reported to prison today, was accused and been convicted of lying to the FBI, which has nothing to do with collusion or coordination.
On Paul Manafort, a status report is expected from Robert Mueller on Paul Manafort today on whether he's cooperating with this investigation. You guys call him a rat.
Well, we say a lot of things about a lot of people in Trump's enemies, but look, we want to make sure that this Mueller report, whatever it's going to entail, talks about Jim Comey and what he did, talks about whether or not Barack Obama knew about the spying operation, whether those folks, the Strzok and Pages, we've seen the text, whether Barack Obama was informed of all of those activities, because there's some allegations out there that he did know. And one of the things that we think is important is the mainstream media being used by those in the FBI, the Strzoks and Pages and McCabe's, the leaks, Comey's leaks. And
those leaks never came out before the election.
No, they didn't come out before the elections. But what they did is they put stories out, then they used them to go after people. That is what's very important. Using a badge once you place a media story is not the way to do law enforcement.
David Bossie, Corey Lewandowski, thanks very much.
Thanks, George.
The book Trump's Enemies comes out tomorrow. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.